Hi everyone, my name is Joe DeSilva. I teach with Anne Arundel County Public Schools out in Anne Arundel County, Maryland, which puts me at about 25 minutes from DC and 25 minutes from Baltimore, about 10 minutes from Annapolis. I've been in education for 13 years. The first 5 were as a social studies teacher for high school. Then I went into technology education for 2 years. Then I did 3 years as a technology education department chair, and then I ended up going into a resource position as a resource teacher. My school district gets a large grant from the Department of Defense to support schools with high military populations. My job, pretty cool, is to get to spend money, roughly $1.5 million over 5 years. My grant supports things like field trips, after-school clubs, professional developments, things of that nature. So that's pretty much what I do on a daily basis. I don't interact with students as much as I do staff, but I actually end up spending most of my time behind a computer screen. I work with staff at 6 different schools, 1 high school, 1 middle school, and 4 elementary schools. I want to be a principal because I've seen a lot of bad principals. I've had 6 principals that I've worked under. I've seen some principals that I've worked with in my position now, and I've seen how they can drive away staff. I can see how they can implement programs that just don't work, that make lives in climates at schools worse. And I believe that I take a design thinking approach to education, and I think that I would actually be able to solve a lot of problems within a school, even a complex or difficult school, one with a lot of issues, especially if there's been high turnover in admin or high turnover in staff. I like working with teachers, and I feel like I'm able to bring out a lot of skills and talents that teachers or other staff didn't even realize were possible. Really motivate staff members. An example of this would be I created a summer program a few years ago for rising 6th graders coming from elementary school, because that transition from middle to high can be really difficult. So I created a summer program where I brought in a bunch of teachers. It wasn't a camp, it wasn't school, it was kind of in between. Lots of hands-on projects, lots of project-based learning, stuff like that. And I was really able to get teachers, new teachers, to do like amazing things that they wouldn't have done in a regular classroom. I feel like if I could bring that to a larger school from an administrative perspective, I could do really awesome things and really impact the lives of students and teachers and the whole community as a whole. As I mentioned, as far as my leadership or supervisory roles, I've served as a department chair, which I've mentioned. I oversaw a department of about 4 teachers and a budget of about $20,000 a year, and had to do your basic department chair stuff, write reviews, manage a budget, do observations, informal observations, year-end evaluations, stuff like that. And I don't really think that anything was that special. I don't really have any really interesting stories from it. Your basic stuff where I ended up having to have, the courageous conversations about with teachers about how they can improve, or what they really did well, but letting them know that there are certain aspects that maybe they ignored out of their classroom management or out of their lesson planning or something. I also don't have really interesting stories from an evaluation perspective, either giving evaluations or being evaluated myself. Just normal stuff. The only thing that I really can think of is that there was one time that I was being formally observed, and I asked my assistant principal, and he was like coming in. I said, I never really had a pre-observation conference. I don't know what you're looking for. And he's like, I'm not worried. You could teach this in your sleep, stuff like that. That kind of, I guess, confidence in me really kind of alleviated any stress that I had from that observation. I think that that's what I could draw from that, where if you instill confidence in the teacher that's actually going through it, then they can actually loosen up and be more of the teacher that that they want to be in the classroom. They should be. The only other interesting story is I once got a bad review because I had a bored look on my face during a high school graduation ceremony. I don't. That was my principal at the time. Anyways, that's about it for me. I'm excited to be in it. This is my first course at Fort Hays. I'm really looking forward to a lot of interesting conversations with you guys.